Good evening, everybody. My name is Ayomide. It's very hard to pronounce, so you can just call me Ayo, A-Y. I'm a spoken word artist, and I have a set today titled Not a Date, but I have a piece I'm going to do first, and then I'll go into my set. I just want to talk so we understand what's going on before I start doing the poetry. My first piece is titled Fear is Stupid. It's a piece I wrote a long time ago when I was battling with fear. And then my set, Not a Date, it has 3 pieces in it. The first piece is titled Every Fall I Fall in Love. The second piece is titled A Ticking Time Bomb. And the third piece is titled Don't Say You Love Me. Yes, so my first piece, it's not in my set, it's a piece I just felt really led to do. It's titled Fear is Stupid. Writing anxiety's biography and all that she had to say. I made sure to do this in bright hue, for all these dark thoughts on one page may scare you. They already do that to me, I dread, I'm petrified. I allow my mind to run wild and I paint scenarios. Some of the good ones, all of the bad ones. My beautiful imagination allows the ugliest of ideas to find expression. The best case scenarios feels like a fable, like folklore, too good to be true, so I focus. I focus on the worst case scenario, feeding until I believe them to be true. I have a good number of fears. Enough to keep my eyes never dry. I have a good number of tears. A good number of imaginations to cast down. These phobias are slowly becoming a frightening stronghold. My wild thoughts hold me down. Last, fear has got me in a chokehold. But the thing is that fear is stupid. Real, yes, valid, but stupid. Her biggest tool is her pencil. Her gift, the ability to draw within the lines, blow within the lines of your own stencil. You see art, but only in parts. She makes false images with true colors, not literally lies, not fully false, just exaggerations. A caricature of some sort she shows. She shows the problem that is imminent, but doesn't tell how my God is ever preeminent. She shades away from the fact that God's will is omniscient. Think. Remember your fears. Remember when your fears were in the dark. Or the films you watched, the horror films you watched that stayed in your nightmares. Remember when your fears was traveling to another country without your parents. Remember when your fears was getting into university. You see, the thing about fear is that fear is stupid. Our fears are stupid when we see them in the retrospective. It is almost as if fear's strength is deeply rooted in perspective. Like once you can see how big God is, you can see how small your fear is. Sometimes I think of the fearless foolishness that would have filled a teenager in David to fight a giant with 5 smooth stones. Fearlessness that we now understand to be fake. Foolishness that confounds the wise. So up until this day, I write down every single of my fears. But this time, I write them down so that I can see her fallacies and her inaccuracies. I write my fears to see her intentional misdirects and inadequacies. I write my fears because I know one day I will open this book and look at all of my fears and say, why was I ever afraid of this? Thank you. This is going to be a set, so I won't stop. I'll just say part 1, part 2, and part 3. So the first part, like I said, is titled Every Fall I Fall in Love. Every fall, I fall in love with the fall. The curry-colored falling leaves, the radiance of the autumn skies, the woody, crispy flavored air, the aroma of autumn spice. It is fall. It's the taste of the earth's seasoning. It's the pride of the 4 seasons. It's Mother Nature's canvas, and she can show paints. Red, yellow, brown and pumpkin orange, crimson, scarlet, and heavily saturated beige. It is a color palette, the beauty of God's range. Every fall, I fall in love. And this fall, I fell deeper than I have ever done, I fell down a hill steeper than I had ever seen. This fall, I fell in love. Hi. I don't know if you remember me from math class. Yes. My heart was racing. I had been running. You see, I'm very clumsy, so maybe this was the time I fell. You see, I had been running, so maybe I must have tripped and I fell. Your pen. I took your pen to sign my name. You see, as far as tokens go, taking this pen, using it to sign my name was a sign, a significant symbol, a token of an exchange, a fair exchange I may add, a penny for a pound, a pen for a pound of my flesh, a drop for a piece, a drop of ink for a piece of my heart. As far as trades go, taking this pen was a trade. It was a signed treaty, a penny for a pound, a fair exchange, if I might add. So every day after that, we spoke. She sent streaks, she sent selfies, besties, I hate that word. She was content, I wanted more than selfies, I was selfish. So, on the 9th of October, a few hours into the night, I decided to text. My heart was tense because I had big plans for the 10th, but this was the 11th hour and it might be a wreck, but a shipwreck began the 12th night. Oh Romeo, no, I'm not Romeo, I'm Shakespeare. After all, that's what you guys call all poets, Shakespeare. And I texted, hi, so I'm just wondering if we could go to Jericho to see a movie. So like it's no, not a date. Okay, yes, a date, but not a date. And I slept that night knowing what was to follow. The joy that was going to fill my heart in the morrow. Joy that a bad date might swiftly turn into sorrow. And so the next morning when I texted her, my message was simple, hello. Not hi, not hey with multiple Y's, just hello. A serious start for a serious date, a serious me for a serious day. And I hoped that even if the English language betrays me, my body language would save me, that she would see and read between the lines and see in the fine print that this date was actually a date. And this not a date was my chance, was my meeting with fate. So we went on it. I think the film was nice or something, I can't remember. See, I didn't watch it, I spent all that time watching her. She laughed, so it probably was nice, and we decided to take a walk. She held my hand, I held my heart in my hand, and we hugged. She smells like autumn, like the aroma of autumn spice, so that day is forever etched in my brain. You see, memory and smells are intertwined. So October 10, 2021, I will always remember as the day of the perfect first date. Part 2. What are we? Mommy always says that my mouth is a ticking time bomb. I am a poet, a suicidal poet with words strapped around my chest waiting until I blow. Mommy always said one day your mouth will put you in trouble, and which day is better than today? My mouth is the engineer of my heartache, my tongue is the architect of my misfortune. Labels, black, white, red tags. The person that loves labels is a gallery that is constantly showing red flags. And she doesn't like labels, but I love labels. Because labels are straightforward, they are defined. I know what we are. We are friends, or friends with benefits, or not friends, or acquaintances, or enemies, or a couple. Mommy always said that my mouth is a ticking time bomb. I am a poet, a suicidal poet with words strapped around my chest waiting until I blow. You see, I never knew that the words that would be the end of me would be, what are we? Part 3. Don't say you love me. Don't tell me you love me. I have waited for these words for days. Days that became weeks. Weeks that became months. Months that became a year and 6 months. I was in your DMs day and night. And not day and night in the metaphorical sense of forever. I was literally in your DMs day and night. I woke up every morning by 7:15 and I signed my register. Hey, good morning, how are you? I sat at that same spot until 2:15 when you went to bed and I signed out, good night, love, sweet dreams. So don't you dare fling those words at me right now. They mean nothing to me. There was a time when those words would have meant the world to me 3 weeks ago, when we sat across from each other and I was holding your hands and I said, hi babe, I'm tired of us fooling ourselves in this facade that we call a friendship. I'm tired of this phantom zone prison that we call the friend zone. I want more. And you looked into my eyes and you had no response. So don't you dare fling those words at me now. Now that you fear that you lost me. Now that you see that I no longer sit hopelessly frozen in your corner. Now that my friends, now that I have finally gotten the liver to do what my friends have always told me to leave her. Now you want to call me and say those words. Are you joking? Are you kidding me? Do you think my emotions are your Play-Doh? Something to make a dry summer day less green. Do you think my heart is your Lego? Something that you can break up and break down at your every whim. You have created a fantastic fantasy in your head. In there, I spend all my days as your knight in shining armor and all my nights as your guardian angel. You love me when it's convenient and I am none the wiser. But you see, I think it's high time you stop daydreaming. Because your fantasy is my horror, your Cinderella story is my conjuring. And this is the real world. Yes, there was a time when my world revolved around you, and your smile caused gravity to lose all its weight on me. And I felt like an astronaut adrift in space. Yes, there was that time. But now, when I see you, all I feel is this vast emptiness. And all I see is this vast space between us. Thank you.
That was Ayomide with Not a Date Date and Kayra Sururi in the piano.